taxpayer dollars were wasted. Precious time was wasted.
People are working every day to make things better. I would say the site's getting better week by week.
On the day of the launch, and even today, there are material failures in the security of the Obamacare website. Hackers, in fact, may have already or may soon find those vulnerabilities.
I think you owe Mr. Park an apology, not a subpoena.
Some days are better than others, but if you look at the trend line week over week, things are getting better.
It's been called a train wreck. That's not fair to train wrecks. When did you first realize that you couldn't keep your health insurance even if you did like it, period?
And that's kind of a health policy matter. It's really outside my lane, so...
You don't know when you first realized that you couldn't keep your health insurance even if you liked it, period. Because you are the smartest one in the room.
I'm not, sir.
And very good at what you do. Where in the heck were you for the first 184 weeks?
And Mr. Gowdy, you're right on that they should have had the A-team on this, and some of the people here today clearly were there for the train wreck.
Nobody in this room, nobody in this country believes that Republicans want to fix the website.
You guys knew there were going to be problems. You hadn't done end-to-end testing. Why didn't you delay this?
That's not my decision to make.
And Republican Congressman Trey Gowdy joins us. Of course, he is on that committee. So what did you learn today?
Not much. 5 minutes isn't long to unlock the mysteries of the universe. I still can't tell you why they went on October the 1st, because that's certainly not the law. That's an artificial date that Kathleen Sebelius picked. We weren't ready to go on October the 1st. We spent over $500 million. We've had 30 months to get the website up and running, and Todd Park is supposed to get it fixed in less than 2 months. So I know this. I'm not convinced about the security. And all of that's just accessing the website. Once you get on the website, if the enrollment numbers are right, 2/3 of the people who window shop decided to go somewhere else.
Well, you know, it's interesting today. There's a conference call that Secretary Sebelius had with everybody in the media who wanted to sign on, and she was talking about the numbers, and the numbers are worse than anyone had ever thought they could be. But she said repeatedly, not just once, repeatedly, she says the marketplace is working, people are enrolling. She seemed quite content, and she added that she expects enrollment to grow.
You and I were both in the courtroom a lot. I think some folks, if you repeat something to yourself enough, you begin to believe it. She would be the only person in the Western Hemisphere that thinks this is working, if she really believes that. Of course, her job is on the line. This is her legacy, if you believe in legacies. But it's not working, and actually, in a roundabout way, the best thing she has going for her right now is the fact that people can't get on the website. That was one of the promises. The other promise about being at lower premiums, better coverage, people are going to also find out that they were misled and deceived when it comes to that.
You talked about the fact that she keeps repeating that the marketplace is working, people enrolling. The president kept repeating. We had 26. We stopped counting at 26, where we had him on tape, saying you keep your insurance if you like, you can keep it. Others said that they found more, and there probably may have been more. But he kept repeating that, too. And we played the soundbite where he knew people were going to lose in 2010.
Yeah, there's a difference between negligently misstating a fact as you perceive it and intentionally deceiving your listener because you want to obtain an advantage. And I'd like to believe that he didn't know it was untrue as it is when he said it.
So they just didn't understand. You prefer to think that he just didn't understand his own legislation?
I would like to think that the leader of the free world would not mislead people solely to win an election. But I'm also not naive enough to believe that.
How comfortable do you have then? Let's assume you're right. How comfortable are you with the fact that if he didn't mislead, he didn't understand his own signature legislation and what was going to happen to so many people?
All the more reason not to have a piece of legislation this large, and all the more reason not to make transformative changes in our culture on a purely political vote. Not a single Republican supported this.
So what's going to happen now? What's realistically going to happen? There's a bill this week with Congressman Upton.
Right, and the Senate's going to be in a dilemma as to whether or not they want to take it up. A lot of these Democrat senators that are up for re-election are going to push Reid to take it up. In the past, he's not shown an inclination to take up House bills. It's going to be the dominant issue in 2014.
But I don't even understand. Even if Congressman Upton's bill is taken up, I don't know how you can force insurance companies to reinstate policies they've already canceled. And even if you could, I mean, I don't think the federal government can do that to insurance companies. I think it's illegal. But even if you could, the insurance companies have to get permission from the states. We're up against the clock. I mean, I don't see how any of this could possibly. I think this is fanciful talk.
I'm going to leave you with a quote from Edgar Allan Poe: "What a tangled web we weave when at first we practice to deceive." When you base a campaign on something that's demonstrably false, as if you like your health insurance, you can keep it, period, and then it begins to unravel, you got a couple of options. You can admit to people that you lied, which he has not done thus far, or you can look to bail you out. And I'm happy to bail my fellow citizens out, but I'm not going to bail him out.
Oh, but see, that's not even, I mean, forget the political aspect. There's some people out there who are in the middle of, like, let's say, chemotherapy, and they've gotten the notice at the end of the year their policy is going to say, I mean, what can you possibly do for that person? I mean, forget I don't have any sympathy for the politicians who find themselves in a mess. I do care about these citizens who are really scared tonight and worried. What can you do for them?
I wish I had a good answer for you. I cannot answer that question other than the president loves to say elections have consequences, and he's right. But one of the consequences should not be that your fellow citizens are punished, even folks who voted for him. If I can bring relief to people despite the fact that we warned them ahead of time this is not going to work, I will do it. But we're so far down this train track now. You're right. You can't tell insurance companies what product to offer. You can't go back and re-offer canceled policies. So this is what happens when you base a campaign on a fundamental lie.
Well, it's deeply disturbing to me. I mean, it's sort of a, there's sort of the drama goes on here in Washington, but outside Washington, there are people really scared and really suffering and terrified of the consequences. But I guess he says he's going to look at all the options. Let's hope he has some.
I hope he does.
Congressman, thank you. Always nice to see you, sir.
Thank you.
And the terribly low sign-up numbers are not the only bad news for healthcare.gov. Now the Obama administration